Nti aba somo nsamo ko twi government man ye bi di hun koma no pay me ni aba afia de twi mo sa na no pay ye ba be somo ene fiada ene ye didi se na no de na ntwe ye ho nti no ye nidi nemum ye bi di apom di hun komo na afi ade ba kwa na Ghana fu di hun komo na ye koso di hun komo de bia na so bi di hun komo aye Black Stars call AFCON the 32nd edition en wo Egypt no en sika ye de call ye ne de ka ye kire ho asem te sai ene be si hun kunya ne bo hun punimpu anope na ye dodo mu na afi ya do som ntu su do adon to bit man for 1441 and 0249 694152 midin de Kwame Agitia na mjidi sa no pay nyame adom nsugugu yi de bebia wo nsugugu kakra oso nyame adom bebia obi ano se nyame ahwe so afia emu akwa no pay
ye nua ho
boko de
nyame adom boko na so
e de nyame ase nse mkase nso afi Ghana nse mu insida na esi nse obi agi sika ko Ghana so okoye bibi e wo Ghana dimu na sika ni bia ka na de ba the dia me biaka nse ya ade because AFCON budget
AFCON de
ene nkofo kra ka se mu de munye di na mu busa nsem too much a ya sa koti committee ma de aka ne de kofa the committee nti ya nso mu sa but na Ghana wa obunyu su bia no we de koso na hwe UTV na e be de so me for mu nim de na mo timi agebre na ya chichim we nyese bia politics Ghana ye nyina yesika taxpayers money e yo se won tua tax a wutua nsu esi wutoye task kakra e wo manafia mboa tade e hwe wutoye task kakra wo nyina de tua kakra santi e yo se won tua tax a wutua tax wo ye Ghana ni nti ibedi hu komo enne ya no pay nti ya sermon ye mo redo bokata na fe ye nhwe de wo mu daily graphic na fia me de shots
okay
good news me busuafo but we be see atia we haven't abandoned tardy girls. President retreats in Western region. And a vigilantism bill finally passed into law. Now, Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Professor Mike Aaron Okweni Mfoni Dahashi Kiki kama pa daha. Now, your Finance Minister presents budget review mandate. And Ojwada, large borrowing leading to debt unsustainability in Africa. And also a World Bank economist, and now the A2 Janti. Yanko front page story now for young shady woman. As the President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo has said the government is not sleeping over the missing Takrady girls. Speaking to a gathering at the Bodie Dompim in the Amansi West District last Wednesday as part of his tour of the Western region, he assured the affected families and the nation that everything will be done to rescue them. He said that the security agencies were working with all seriousness, albeit unquiet, and expressed optimism that obviously the missing girls will be found. He said, "We are not sleeping on the 3 missing young women. It is important to know that those involved are wicked and crafty people, and the team is working to rescue them," according to President Nana Akufo-Addo. Nana Akufo-Addo. Sasa. Afia.
Yo, I was for daily graphic double catano and your day air chassis and a catafan toss me and son. I was shall say a free cat and any air front page one and near your day air share as say. Na my one and son, I want me a year or takra day. I must say, dear, Ebusianfo so magana for the who yada da besine. Ye who baby and Kodano war and Kodai woman and Smith or can Busianfo and Sawon Smith or can for and Sano. And no and another Danko Kufad na probo Gusto what Temante moon wako a year Bodie Dompim and no what a Memphis West Mensini emu ewa Temantem. Nankase mono and a wash a year additioned through. Busuafo no ebose enya de a aban abunani aguso nya de aban atuna jejem nya de aban atwi nani e wasata kwade nkoda ne ho na mom no wo mo bu ahumodin bia se de be ya enkoda ne betuma beka wa wofo nsa wa busuafo nsa ama anigye etumi aba efie pa na numu no no sare tu dwa sesese no abanbofo no so wo mo so ye adwuma pa o the first obi o mo aye din doesn't mean say wo mo eja o madwuma wo mo gusu aye adwuma din tokro bia nkoda ehyem bia no wo mo ebe ye adwuma akɔtwe omo aba omo busuafo ensam amenu atumi adi anigi aba wɔkyɛ sɛ wɔn ye di saboni no wɔn ye nipa bi omo tiri odi ye pa na dafo ne sense no abambɔfo na ye omo adwuma nyame ye adona sɛ nkɔda no ebeka busuafo nsa na kyɛ sɛ ne wɔn ye di sansam wɔn no nso ye de ani esi omo so na afi ye twe omo di a ne mo ni so ba bi aga na mrada no ye de betu wɔn ede ama wɔn ma wei aye bosha na Danko Akufo-Addo ede ama nkɔda na busuafo ese that's aboa da bia no enkoda no on ba beka abusuafo ensane sense no wo munum so entwen wo pe
good news the ebeya ne say edimpa bo beta chiri ahwe yango katafeto so du no page 20 of the daily graphic on say vigilantism bill finally passed into law. The Vigilantism and Related Offences Bill 2019 has finally been passed by Parliament after corrections were effected on Clause 3.7 of the bill. Parliament first passed the bill last Monday, but it is rescinded the passage following a motion moved by the majority leader, Mr. Osei Chairman Sabunsu, that the sentencing of the offence should be 10 years and not 5 years, as captured by Clause 7 to bracket 3 of the bill. After the amendment of the bill, the Minister for Planning, who is also MP for when she moved the motion on behalf of the Attorney General for the third reading and passing of the Vigilantism and Related Offences Bill 2019. The act is now awaiting presidential assent to become effective. The majority and the minority sides of Parliament last Monday unanimously voted in favor of the passage of the bill when the Speaker, Professor Aaron Mike Okwe, put the question to a voice vote. The Vigilantism and Related Offences Bill 2019 applies to a person who participates in the activities of a vigilante group that is associated with, related, connected, or affiliated to political party, a person who acts as a land guard, and a person who engages in other acts of vigilantism.
Yo, I was for Daily Graphic Democrats and if I toss a duno any demo aircraw vigilantism a yadia a beji he wa Ghana hapa and then ya kukwa kudo pi sorry our political parties I would do a war memo and some money they na wo mu dibin to kwa hu hia chinie and then ya sotro ka ne ya hu sum say wam na je say yade ha dwen na ebinum po e kasa se ya nhwe ne anya bibi amfa ho a wo mai babo hu sam no yade bejiagu titu ne se ya to aba anhwa ye numpo ne dia kasa wujire mu wu twense bia bedu so akwato aba no na bia anhwa na obi aba bejinjam na nipa no so afa no ho adi ne sent no mampai ye ne se da bi wadi mu amabambo hu nsem nko ye ne sent no amanyakuo mienu a sa vigilantism no agi hi wo mpa MPP ne ndi so mo nkwatena se no mo nka no mo anhwe kwampo befa so no mo ye firi ho no wo mo kwatena se na ntumi antentam na se de wo se etumi eye mmere bia mu ode editor eche se da be ya so obi de ne ho kwose sa eye atutrafo ko ni mu a na ne ho ntuma pa ye betumi atwe na so ene ne na no na se bedwafo kwa setena no wo mo keka ne mesi ni mmeko wi ase sa mmera vigilante bill no wonum agitu mu no mo tena se no mo se da bi so bi edi ne ho kwosem na ne ho ntuma pa asotwe wo se de ma no e wo se ye mfie poli edu 10 years na so mmera ni mu no wo mo eye ni mfie num na chese mfomso akọ ho baabi ne sense no wo mo twim sa mmera no asan na mo sa akọ mutira pam ho bi no ma ye nsesaye changes kakra wo mu na afi wo mo agye atum prekope na no ma yes ansesan ni e wo mu asese no wo mo asa agye atum ama no ababe mmera na sesi ade e wo mo se na hye bedwafo agye atum de nanso o mampanyi enya mfa ne nsan hyase no mo twa so mampanyi de nsa be hyase no nya de nsa hyase si yakimdi a na chese vigilantism mmera no aye mmera prekope na chese be hyase aye adwuma kama pa wo chese wo ye langard ni na do ho kohyemu eno no mmera no adi 10 years uba kutwa anase bia mirishia kuokuo ni ade nsamoni nyina no do hu kohyem no so mmera na du 10 years ubetwa
Afianko Petre on large borrowing leading to debt unsustainability in Africa. World Bank economist. The World Bank chief economist for Africa, Dr. Adekye Nsroma, has cautioned African countries against large borrowing and loading up on debt, saying it is leading to debt unsustainability on the continent. He observed that in the past few years, the structure of African debt has changed, with many African countries turning to the international bond market to finance their economies. He said apart from the large amounts borrowed, the rates at which they were secured were very high, making borrowing quite expensive. The situation, he said, was leading to very high debts and debt unsustainability on the continent. Dr. Nsroma was speaking at the World Bank Forum in Accra yesterday to discuss how to move its economies of African countries forward. He said from a 50% debt to gross domestic product ratio 10 years ago, some African countries currently has as high as 100% debt to GDP ratio, which is not all that encouraging. Yeah.
Kratafe to so miensa wo Daily Graphic Democrats animu no eno de aba na no World Bank Forum bi akoso wo nkra ha sei enra na ne mpanyufu akuku dam woni a enim sikasam tutu ho no dodo no a ene yeto nsafro mo emom kosa World Bank Forum no ase na World Bank chief economist for Africa a woni Dr. Adekye Nsroma okwase bi no kasaye ni semu no de atodwa se kwan bibifo faso egibosia wo eye amahudo so no eya doso dodo eya doso we enam so ama bibiman eka ye depa no chese mu odu na se anhwe ye na ya ante so ne atoto ne ma yi a anhwe e ka no be bua for ye so amadachi bia no akwakofa asem kese de aba ene ne ye bobisan de aye ne nso so no se ahwe ne ha hani na ye kwa omode be ma ye nti de bia ne ye soro ani ye dwan abrofo ama yesu ne ye gebosen a dachi bia anhwe sabi ye se be frem pass ye tu sa anamo no ene ne nsam de o kan bi pa wo se kwa akra fa so agino no eno so ya de yam fom so ano odin dodo ye very high very expensive ano odin ne board den sense no wo se etumi eto ye book akra wo ho ansa owura Zufak eche se be ye mfedu atwam ni ye no wo kire se ekwan ne efa so gibosia ye ka no 50% debt gross domestic product na so se no asesa kura ma se die akwakodu 100% o ha mu nchemu wo ha achesa no odin ye pa na ni nyina no se bibi man antu ye bo e wo bosia no ho a dachi bia no ebeje yensem
and then so yempesa beji ensem kan wasem wiene ne se gi ensem a na agi
na asa
na fa kwambone so yemfa delegate into aso na fe yenko anim na wo story about delegate ka beso to aso
trade fair center na eja
amezo renovate no mama nkan kakra ma no
me bank na ha na boso pa o she said enche bia baso na no
unya breso nko hwe de ekoso
oh bibi papa bia se dan ko because we twemo
because of ya
we twemo okra na wo sha painting no kra wo te edan ho no the way I say no kra
ba inside the nyema koso pa na no kosi na ko boy ni akoma na sa
why fe kama
it could be better on say yeah kruma maintenance call challenge na nya adwuma de ya na foforo fe nyina so fe ko twan photo ni ade but say ye hwe manage na the city na so gina na so no de o da bi ntimi yes
na such places na no more management like obi e bia manager bi no wo hwe to ho yi obi be ye program bia no agi sika kaka
no managers omo hwe di sika
but na sika na yo
mo say the maintenance in the enso watch bi din trade fair center to be redeveloped. Ghana is to spend an estimated $2 billion to redevelop the Ghana International Trade Fair Center into a modern trade exhibition hub. The Minister of Planning, Professor George Jan Bafo, has revealed. He said the project, which was expected to be completed in 5 years, would be funded by the Ghana Trade Fair Company Limited and interested investors through public-private partnership (PPP) arrangement. Professor Jambafo said when the project was completed, it will generate permanent employment for more than 10,000 people and create an estimated $150 million revenue stream from business annually. He said, we are determined to deliver to the people of this country and indeed this region a first-class convention center with exhibition facilities that will facilitate world-class trade and investments in the next 5 years, he said. The Minister of Planning stated this at the investment conference on Ghana Trade Fair Redevelopment Project at La in Accra yesterday. The conference outlined development and redevelopment and also investment plans to potential investors to attract more participation in such programs.
I was for daily graphic the broadcast I said would dani a back page one more honey demo air crow na or may at the atu just say dear trade fair center Ghana International Trade Fair Center ye besie no ama no aye kama eja ne naso ye pa abefon sa no ene omo kekomu wie be ye kama ankasa na o chese omo de $2 billion bam ene be ye sa insiesie adwumadie no ama eye Ghana International Trade Fair Center etumi eja ne naso na sa ensemi wosoafo a wo hye planning anampo Minister of Planning a won Professor George Jan Bafo won ene de tu dwa na o chese wo mu ehwe kwanse sa adwuman wo mu di mfie polypoly enum 5 years ena wonum ede be ye na Ghana Trade Fair Company Limited wonum ena ebefa ho ka na wo chese won betu nsanso afre investors won e di won dwetese nyuma mu no ama obia oye na nige ho so obetumi di ni sika ba be wura no wotumi di ni sika awura mu na afe eye aban ene ankrankra nyuma ko nyina so yade a obetu nsa from won nige ho so obetumi di wo sika awura mu na yesiese Ghana Trade Fair Center no so yade a wo mo ebegisa partnership no awa tu na Professor Jambafo wo chese sa project nyame ya adom na so mo keka ne masi animu no mu ewia ene nipa be se mpim du ene betumi ama wonum adwuma aye honom wo de no etonchi afibia nso emfaso a won benya sika won benya ade afri mu no aye $150 million na just ne de eye negisem na the sansem we to dwa ewo investment conference bi omo ye efa Ghana trade fair redevelopment project no ho e wola e wo enkran eye enradwe ya na sa conference na sene ne omoto adwen efa ne ma bebre hu nyame ya dom no mu wie a ene ne o se ne ma beda ne ani pa ene ne bibie ekoso efa adwadie hu se bia adwadie yi exhibition ne ade ne nyina no wo be ye ho no wo mo ye no so na edisika ebegu eye trade fair for wonom efutu mo.
And we are creating employment money per 10,000.
10,000.
And currently, nipa saying a trade fair center and creating employment more. $2 billion US if you involve in SMP.
Currently, there's a miniature sebedoso.
Let's be optimistic. Young umpire said, yeah, can 5 years in
5 years.
Now, you say could be a friend in disco from Western region. When you're watching a papa and a summer president Costa. I say, I didn't Danny. I'm watching a papa and a super. As a pay in the bread, we are not the and your collar, so you mean Charles a junior, I want one so. What's it before we see our disco? Charles, what do you come watching my cabano pay?
Major do TK.
Now, AK. I said, no, no,
Major did a BBA walk.
Yamia the Musha that we are queen elsewhere.
Yamia do more, yeah, the Munka Krakra.
Yeah, the Yamia, when you said disco, then Kaja, President Acosta down here, go for Papa and Asumika, ya can't be a torture.
Yeah, okay. The Yabaka say about Western region Takra there. Disco for Asami, yeah, not do in Shada in Chay. I there. We best say Sabi name Chibin. No do no oyet number me Equanasana or Morty.
As soon as I did the battle, not Yama, now I be ho.
Ayo bibi owo damana disco for Asami Ray. Na Yana Yabaka there, Nanke or their president as part of Notono. And go do to more of a cat sword. Would disco for and what the bay a project can say, one pound or Bob Wama, winning a cold store, Nanyama or how would what they a one on for Ejumano. Nejina on them problem no benti. Mampenin Nana at the down kwa Kufado or Ben win 2 wire then 1 quanquay demijumedi, we postponed. Ya, Madame Jumedi, disco for 40 webo. Mampenny Ben or Sano call, Nana Kwesi Ajima, Ninchan Elwo, Fian Quanta Regional Hospital, where Poshen.
On Heno, we did Zakano.
Mopochonyo. Or Coho, on Nala Poshen. Nana Ben or son or condemn them actions in Nara. Na a day before Nana Baba Banania, the simple union and say that this could say Sarano tension or her bepping the Mabi America say. Why are there Afano say Obi or upper disco, no who Obi or lower disco, Nasa Sabe, no one yet dancing now, no Obi Babasi, or there on you know a year you went to another or do to more than Auburn. The me
Sana Koso.
Sesiara more kodo ewo lower and upper disco fin. Why the tension or what Sesiara na kwa de. Wa mama mo frama ne mesiafo ankasa wo hon bebrenara war preda wadu wo tiribo bom efi krono do na wanara we to baka akuba ebi na wa kobo obra. Sesia tension or disco fin. Yoro kesi. Na yemu bebrena yet to ye that threat or ye on my hina on Anka Sosha, a hunter as Asado, or ye Nana Bedubon so, ye have to assign the Dama Bree now there, Otum or Soligina, Nen Yamanyamoro Quado, Ewa hunter as Asia, ye will be the no, Yama Bebree, Otum or Kofo. Na Aya and a journal, Nan Yankasa so, Anam Damo as the Serbia and some Chawful, Nen Yimpa, a hunter for Iowa Western region. Yet to say, let's have your Cassady. Or yeah, a handful our regional House of Chiefs, including one acting president. Now, or yeah, Minister for Chieftaincy, Nankasa, or upper Western region. Now, painful Bebre, regional minister, Honorable Kobana Ochredako, Okaho, Nelly deputy, when Nara, and then the Pijara 8 o'clock, will to Anamon, now disco for. Na honara wonye amanfo akwa kakasa na wahwe mesmo wo besi wa booma nyama a orokodo a oye tan ewo disco fo no nodo etwa nti anape UTV what the tension with disco for oye no kwa ehwo nje kwa sanda o mampanyin na dan kasempo no wentum wanko disco fo wa de odinenwa rekwa akohwe mo orokodo ho nam elingwa sam a damo ahemfo ebieni wo a wodurugu ahanta asase du ninti na nanara ntuma ankohoma da mabi oda ahemfo mpanyimfo otwa na monte 8 o'clock yala ahemfo mpanyimfo a wash western region what can be or na regional minister na minister for chieftaincy woroba na wa disco na wa akɔhwɛ ma ɔrɔkɔdo ɛwɔ hɔ
na Charles ohino mkofo papa na so no disco go upper na lower
ono wo lower de no na o sabe watch no kwa kwahye bebi a wobro no ono na ode na akwesi agyeman na ma owo upper disco fa was suspected there ono no odi damo nyamransam no ono ye na Himadechi ono no owo upper disco na kwa disco wa yekro kese kro na numu why that ahemfo aman ahemfo ebien wohwe do oye upper disco na lower disco nti mo watch na bro no owo lower disco for any nana kwesi agyeman no
nti lower ni sha apa ni na wapana suna so betimi da na wapana suna fe ye kwa ni
ma nyama oro kwado nti na ye mu bi sabe yesin afem de ye wa hemfo mpanyimfo wo western region ha ye wo mpanyimfo wo western region ha na da nyama oro kwado papa nti ye rehwe mo be fi me baba se nde bi eyi Sadamin Semi, Yenuaji, Dan, him for Narakasana, Regional House of Chiefs, Wool to Wana Mona Wako, or disco, Nawapa Koshama, Damin Semi, Nodu, H. Disco guitar, Bapa Sampa Papa Eke, disco for your baby, your back for a Jumanon or Yakase, out of way or pa, Nadamin Semi is in Tea, okay, so why the Kuna Bay, Bunibese, or Ghost Tower, Ubiarin to Minshada. Impui papa nkwankwa ye nyama opedoye
na bambo ho asam ti san wo
bambo ho asam ne de bi bese police regional police commander na no nkofo wore ye mo botumi biara na so obi bese nimpa no so yesuna owo mu a sabe o hwe na police na atwe no ho kakra na ode no so mo ode oye no na waye nti dam na orokwado but there gidi there in the regional minister na regional house of chiefs work over wobaka ho asam na se bambo no wobe den wobemiem manyama akoba wetu wa akobiye
Charles we but we asem so odwen ko chene se enye se bia ntokwa ba enti na de na sha se e ade bia e wo ho de dada
disco for abakwasam no aye de oye problem o wo ho da say ye be kepa abra wo fenden o manpanyin kufuo na brodi nyinara Mara McKay na ye na edi when echi yereko apro wo western region ha da ma bro no say na wo kokodu disco fa na say election time bi arabana the more politicians no flag barrier and work with disco fa instead of that the crony na wo tu wo bomo ko na wo share politicians no na all multi nti say nyimpa no or kwehia or do kwehia lower disco for him separate na wa kwehia upper disco for him separate but okay ya ba shede ye twekro no picture ye ne ya da ba shira manfo onye kro wa ya ba kade also kesi biara do anka o de da minsam bebebe okodo wo ma go da ahemfo ebien ni awo wo mi ne yenye ahemfo ebien no so mara menyi wo nyina ya ma papa no ma me won di nkomo pa ebi se obiara o se menyimu nyi problem biara ebi se ya menyimu nyi problem ba fitete na da ma se mi adahwa abapem da ma bia yen shade ye hu problem potia owo da mkofo ebien ni wontem ba ye buda ye nunum na ye hu mo owo ho potia ye believe then the house of chiefs work ho multi bia ho abakwasam no ye benya ni ye na wa aboa ma wose ekwotu de nyimpa ebien woro kwa men bi sada abasam no we si bi sada da no abasam no si da mi bi no orokodo nto ye tetetetetu ye mu bi na ya wonsam chiwo mu ejuma tetetetetu ye kade any politicians no do a ahemfo ebien ana de ebusun ebien no wontum wonhia na won welcome any flag barrier until ye fetitete na the matter ni start
ma Charles na meeting house of chiefs for organizing mo share we need the kind na mo share bi pen
to me ne de mame hu nyinara na ejinye ada odikan previously ni nyinara na nkofo rehwede oye nyano man hin kase a osha hunter do oye nana bedu bonso tumfo bedu bonso nanka enkofolo hwenyim de damasemi anka nalankasa oye batankase osha hunter do no obotum wa hwe na we siesie into beginning na adna akwaye de na bedu bonso no hwe na siesie but on shada nyama nshada nkoje tidam wo hwehwe no into na dem into mara ankasa de sama mohwe maminyim na I stand to be corrected. Regional House of Chiefs, one shada, one tina, one kadamasemi, papadam.
Okay. Yamon pa say ne die bi pa bi fun abana say asum yet about this because the dinner then until say basa so okay Charles that say enu Charles Junior ten nka free Western region if you dinner come on disc off yeah upper disc off ni lower disc off ni say upper ni share lower ni share upper na when the features no betumi abodi kakra no upper na so ni afi ye kwa enim we nicken okay Yamfa Daily Garden to us front page story Wyoming mansion sell 11.7 million Ghana cedis. Supreme Court dismisses ex-Senate boss, 4 others. Now, for KMA wins £400,000 sanitation prize. That's a lot of money. So, if you do command or pay. Yansha Wyoming, also 2 mansions belonging to the beleaguered NDC financier, Alfred Agbesi Wyoming, will soon be put to offset part of the 51.2 million Ghana cedi he fraudulently received as judgment debt from the state. The Office of the Attorney General has already begun the processes of auctioning the 2 mansions to the public as it strengthens efforts to retrieve money wrongly paid to the NDC financier. This follows the adoption of the reserved prices on 2 mansions by the Supreme Court yesterday. A 5-member panel presided over by Justice Paul Bafuboni yesterday placed a 11.7 million Ghana cedi dollars if you are placed 11.7 million Ghana cedi price tag on the 2 residential homes, one located at Trasaco Valley and another at Pehi in Accra, New Kobrani area. Other panel members included Justices Suleimana Bedegwe, Alfred A. Benin, Samuel Mafui Sao, and Agnes Doji. The Office of the AG on Friday filed a motion at the Supreme Court for determination of the reserved prices for 3 of Wyoming's residential properties, which the state is selling through public auction. This is in fulfillment of the judgment of the Supreme Court, which ordered the sale of Wyoming's properties after the NDC financier tried to hide some of them in the name of the defunct UT Bank when the state wanted to sell them to defray the cost of 51.2 million Ghana cedis he fraudulently collected from the government for no work done.
I was for daily guide the Bokrata no and no any demo air crow. Katafan tosumiensa eho any ejinin. Yabo Ora Alfred Agbesi Wyoming dia. Na just a ringy bell or Ghana for bebre Ghana for assume I just send some ketwa. Nina ne say it may be a tremu or penny efa a year a quambia nation papa so. Ebeji will may seek a 51.2 million judgment debts and I just send some ketwa. We Ghana for suguye yemi pass a se Croatia wumsa. Timitam sika 51.2 million money pabako for. Nana o made two just an ample court to do 2 just a cool fast so a J yesika sano. Na from so kwan so. Siamra papa panisentia bayereno. Amenetia. Any NDC abandon wo ye born metia matisubi say maybe mkwana check or dekwa kwana instead endimu papa achesa say me court na ba na say de eyade a ababeto dwase wo mo tene preko pefiri ho say be ya ni nyina to betwa na opanyi wo yomi kwa ni dia atumi ada wesunti ye NDC financier wo say court di candidate dwase nka na japade owo no ye mo ni donkom na ye nton me ko wi asa papa no kra no pese odi bi siesie UT bank dia we dia nenso ko wi asa se ba bia na odi siesie nu ne nkrofo ne banks ahoda na se yomu dia nyina no na nya no kore wesunti se Supreme Court test gina yese na dan mienu a chese ba kon ewo Trasaco Valley na ba kon so akpehe ewo nkra ha se no ye mo ni donkomi na ye nton na sika be firi mu aba no yemfa ente eka no so bi ne sent no say the Supreme Court keka niam si animu no wo mo kire se wo mo bomodin bia se da be yan manim ya no wo betumi aton edan no na sika be free ma bom krampo no mo se dan ne yemfa anye 11.7 million Ghana cedis aha ne yemfa ente eka no so ebi na wei na say the Attorney General office there to just say hyehyɛ process a wo be gu so anampo wo be gina so de abodan don komi no wo ma sha se da dada ne senti enche kura no edan no wo mo ebebo ndon komi ama obi a na nigi ho so otodan wo Trasako Valley na kpehe no watumi abanimu na fa abeton ni me nyina 11.7 million Ghana cedis na je se we de don komi enche ye beton
if you compare what position yan kotobi and say 11.7 million Ghana cedis 1 million 11
Then so we shall back be 65 bisa no
well depends if you baby
ewo say Trasako Valley
na kpehi
Trasako de ye before ke kan say ho ye kama
omo na omo nti wo na e kan
te kwabrane wo ho ana ono wo
ho no tie de Yanko page 6. I want to start when your good news Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly. Also, KMA wins £400,000 sterling sanitation prize. Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly is the proud winner of a staggering £400,000 sterling cash prize for excelling at the sanitation challenge for Ghana to contest. The competition was mainly to determine which metropolitan municipal and district assembly MMDA in the country was implementing modern and innovative strategies in solving liquid waste problems. Funded by the UK aid, virtually all the MMDAs in the country were eligible to participate in the competition. Nanumba North Municipal Assembly took home £280,000 sterling. Afutu Municipal Assembly with £250,000. Secondary Takrady Metropolitan Assembly and Kwawu East District Assembly had £150,000. The competition started in 2015 with 128 MMDAs submitting their proposals, and after some analysis were made, 48 MMDAs were shortlisted for stage 2 of the contest. After several rounds of the competition, the number of the MMDAs were competing for top prize was cut down to 15 in the final stage for another assessment. The KMA, headed by Osei SCB entry, eventually emerged as the winners during a colorful ceremony in Accra on Wednesday. The whopping £400,000 cash prize is to enable the KMA to continue to implement more sanitation-related programs to help improve the lives of the people. And if you have the good news, you know, say KMA need excuse to be also because we need to sanitation, Jumano.
You, Yanko
£100,000.
I was for daily guide, the Democrats and the fair tosu ensia and your demo aircrow. A fee I had obey no. And ya Ghana for one ye. A man who draws what this year, Mamma Bebre, how mu pass Ghana ya some Germany. Now they back quite some master pie fino, bola no, a yamini ye. Since a mamma binum, a you money some beboye, I'm yet to meet to fina say. Western to know, UK aid, one at the bar set. Where your competition just a motto at the ama metropolitan municipal na for district assemblies ahodo no say will be an contested wo bet to minister share papa gu akwanso at the afa bola ni efin ho no what this an share no so aye adwuma no for proposal bra where your contest akansi e be ma mu nyina makọ wo be we no sika mu odubam ye betam e de ama no wato aso e de atu efin ni bola say e de afiri ukropon emu ene ni akansi no na chese nyasam keto akora na wo kire se akansie no akwawie anesa amekwawie asie no Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly KMA wonom ena afo nto apa efra ewo na we ne ye £400,000 so edosu ye pa yatam dia mo sanitation challenge for Ghana contest no wo ena we ne ye asa $400,000 no ye dia mo say wo achede achese de omo emfa nkoto omo adwuma paso ewo fin ene bola no ho no chese sa competition nampo akansie ne sere medi nkanka na metropolitan municipal na district assemblies no achese wo mamu nyina no ye bie kwa mo so obi a ebetumi ede ne proposal aba na UK aid na efa ho eka na chese Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly wo mo edi nkunim £400,000 na dia mo no na Number North Municipal Assembly no wo mo so nya £280,000 Afutu Municipal Assembly edi £250,000 and a coffee. Second D, Takrady Metropolitan Assembly and Afiko East District Assembly Nunso, or Mumu be the £150,000 £100,000 ekofie na say competition na nasa akansie no 2015 afini mu na sha ase o ene MMD fo no 128 obi ade ni proposal abaye nanso kwa wi ase na mpanyifo keka na emese ni mu no wo mo samu a emekoka 48 pe na chese no second run na stage 2 of the contest no wo mo ene koye 48 na koye na wo chese rounds do makobi pa makọ rounds ne bi o mokọ ne do makogo mokọ ne do makogu ekọ wi ase final stage no 15 MMDs na chese wonom etumi qualify ye do mokọ final stage na say nya mencha de KMA4 wo mo etumi adi emu enkunim no na eye KMA boss wo say SB entry nanu kwada ne behwe nkana ha wo sankasa abere beto dwa so mo na adi nkunim no ene ni giedie na eswoni nso ka kire wo mani giedie me ka so wo ho esanse £400,000 de yade a emu eduye pa KMA wonum adi nkunim ama se Sanitation ho nsama wonum ekotoa so aye ni yie e de asesa omanfo abrabomu
Okay, no comment.
No comment.
No comment. If you have good news for farmers, page 9 of Daily Guide.
Page 9.
See, government improves credit for farmers. Now, Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Uso Fiya Kotumfuni, da Oshini Kiki Kama Pachi Chairman say, good news, Emma, Union Momo Yekuyano. Also, the government, through the Ministry of Agri, is in the process of introducing a new credit facility to increase access to funds for farmers. The Ghana-based risk-sharing agriculture lending scheme, a creation of the central bank would encourage commercial banks to lend more to the agri sector. The body will be a de-risking instrument that provides bank guarantees, insurance, business advisory services, and incentives to banks so as to increase lending to agriculture. Effectively, it is expected to ease the problem of agri financing, which had been a major bane and a drawback to the development of agriculture, according to Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Efriye Akoto said. He also indicated that agriculture credit had almost collapsed, citing sharp decline in funds allocated to the agri sector in recent years. He said in the past, about 18% of the credit given by commercial banks went into agriculture. That has collapsed to 4% in the past 3 or 4 years. The idea, therefore, is to bring it back to a certain reasonable level, he said. He was speaking at the 3rd Ghana Association of Agriculture Economics Conference themed Sustainable Agriculture for National Development, Finance, Markets and Job Creation, which was held in Accra last Wednesday.
I was for Daily Guide, the Democrats and effort also and Kuno and the Demo Air Crow, the Ghana Quia for Tabufo, while Martin Dene, Yasam Gatos and Sawusho Swafo share, and we are ne Quia and some so a year on for Dr. Usu Efria Koto. So there was here to tune into my Wusu Washeni Kiki, Namacro Funisin and no to Miss Yasam Gatonijism and Wabeka. Nina say a buying and nam asoye and share Quia and Uniane and some so, and this is a Frobi Abba, artist and no better so. Ghana Kuyafo Yama Wonum Bosia Yama Musika, won't bet me their show more Germany mu ama Kuyaya Moyano, etumi Akosuye pa. Not just a Ghana based risk sharing agriculture lending scheme, and no necessary for fra one Diabano. I just over Boa Ghana Kuyafo Motumenya Sika, and then on Central Bank so ebe Boa Kuyafo mo Bosia Bosia mu do no beer to me their son Jumamu, na Abua ama a ye Kuyaya Hunsem, etumi Tumpon Akosuye Jan and Naso Ghana Hase, I mean you are dear to me bunkam afaso ewo memu. Nasa Ghana-based risk-sharing agriculture lending scheme yo de abano. Wachese no so ebeboa ama eye bank guarantee. Say bi akwa kwaje bosia so bi me guarantee ma. We me die jiremu ma. Ni nyina no enkobasa hyehyɛ na na be bibia ma. Be ma insurance ekobasa aturenche mbisi emo bi tisi wefuo so anampo wefu na se ahye ni nyina no insurance ho no ma betuma twitwa agyo. Na eba adwadie ho afuto business advisory services ni nyina wo metumi dia ma san hyehyɛ mu. Na wo ye adwuma nyina so mo hye wodin ye ma incentives bi anu no betumi akenya opam otumi aye adwuma ni ye ene ne akuafo mukom bedwumo pa san so bi wo hono ma akua no e woni nsa no woni tirim na so oni sika obetumi dia hyem na aboa ma adwuma na kosana no fon saa na afọ de akoye adwuma wofro wono nim sa adwuma okoye emmoa no na nkonya sika koye akua na nke na betumi aboa na so sika ni wonti na chese wo ye bia saa se de sa hye ye aban de ebewura kwaye mu no ebe boa ma akuafo ko madwo wonom e o sika sam afamu na aboa ama omadwuma omo ye no so atumi akoso ye pa na wo chese mbre bi atwa mu no na credit anampo sikasem de mo no na 18% say egu ama kwakodu 4% say abanche senche na ode ba ne de ebeboa akanya wonom ama bibia atumi akoye eye ononyamfo Dr. Wusu Afriye wo de sansem wo nyina tu dwabra no okasa e Ghana Association of Agriculture Economists Conference ase de na etoso miensa no ase na de sansem we ekotodwa
Many also cancer and Tosumi as an original hobby. Paid now, we saw you also good news. I say IPP's recent decision to shut down power. Melvin Talone Kines, a true story by. Also, the independent power producers, IPPs, have rescinded their decision to shut down their plants in protest against the non-payment of monies owed them by the power distribution services and the electricity company of Ghana. The IPPs had earlier threatened to slap the entire nation with power outages by shutting down their plants should the PDS and ECG fail to pay them over $700 million debt within 2 weeks. However, a statement issued and signed by the Chief Executive Officer of the IPPS, Distributors and Bulk Consumers, Kwabla Akpetogbo, said, since the matter came to the fore through the instrumentality of the vibrant media, stakeholders have been engaging behind the scenes to have the matter resolved. It also indicated that the ECG had, since the issuance of the ultimatum, made some payments to the IPPs and then expressed its appreciation to all the stakeholders, the government, industry players, and the media for helping to resolve that critical issue of national concern. According to the statement, the decision to shut down the plant was a difficult one for the IPPs. They were constrained by the huge debts which were choking their operations. The IPPs have, through the statement, called for more engagement among the industry players and important stakeholders with a view to guaranteeing stable power supply regime in the country.
For daily guide, Democrats and friend also encrow any demo aircrow na independent power producers IPP. One a bank near home sama mo boa o men pa ene o mo so ECG for asne na PDS for so o mo aso masne pa on kanea asemu ne nyina ne say independent power producers one e plants enkanea plants bebre aches o mo di bi afem ECG and afem so PDS for nya say the afem mo kakasa fa me ko da bi yetuaka ECG o mo ni PDS for etuaka patches say mu oduro na eno ne beto dwa say PDS ni ECG for nyina wo mo IPP for ika atese kan ne mu odu papa o ma mo so mu nsuro ka ya da mo ka da dom se twe ka hin ha o me anwene ye ho atese o mbu o mani gu so na wei na IPP for tese da bi sire nkofo se bu o mani gu ka no so na no odin they say take drastic measures bi pa na yetumi adeji yensika ene na no mo de betu dwa se de o mo plant ni nyina mo de fam ECG ni PDS no mo betum Wamutu nso agana ye beda sumu atese nyasam ketwa esum ye beda mu no anu odin ye pa ene PDS ni ECG foi eti sa IPP foi IPP foi chese o mabetu ye plant ni mu no msi ye wuo ye nkeka ye ho ene beto odwan so social media ye tweneni abasa ne sere ye di ho konkonsan ade ne ye kasa bia atese eno krampo ne ma ECG ni PDS foi hu se IPP foi wo mu eni abre ene amane bono kwasu kiremu a IPP mpanyufo yi wo mo kire se basa no PDS ene ECG fo eno makasa kokoamu pa a ECG fo kwampo de ka no wo mo akwakotua bi de afiri honom se de wo mo kire se wo mo gina ye wo mo si se nkomo plant no betutum no wo matwe asan wo ma anya ntum bim esanse yade a ECG ni PDS fo ene wo mo kasa kokoamu a wo mo solve bibia asubdwe kwan so said be ya bibia betumi akoyie na ECG for kwampo no ma make payments bi makwa kotua sika ni bi nam so ma se no mo chese mo solve bibia sumdwe kwan so a enkoba se wo mo decision na mpo mo gina ye o mo sie se nkoma betutu plant ni mu no wo mo chese se de emba so o ma twa san
say only kanantua bi a we ancho if you read your Ghanaian Times story be wo
Ghanaian Times
Ghanaian Times and on page 15 on say police beef up security at UEW said this we go to one step you see vice chancellors non ka brother afubroni ne advocate nka any double track system on we fire yellow we have for green vice chancellor de enya sa and one chancellor one university one vice chancellor
no digital era
and one is to one
Hey.
And Professor Afubuni so is in charge. The Minister of Education now on radio say I know say and we need Professor Afubuni, we need Professor Bokebianti. And so far there and no actually come share any more senka Professor Afubuni bebe jumana on to me a man in him you see no. But page 15 of the Ghanaian Times the story be about. Also police beef up security at UEW. The police yesterday maintained a strong presence at the University of Education Winneba to avert any attempt by the former Vice Chancellor Professor Unauthorized Adekye from taking over the running of the institution. Some staff have labeled the decision to take over as a coup d'etat, indicating that they would resist any attempt by him and others from causing unrest on campus. The security personnel drawn from Swedru and Winneba Police Command had been deployed there to ensure that peace was maintained in the university, which had for some time experienced misunderstanding and confusion following the dismissal of the then Vice-Chancellor Professor Unauthorized Adekye. The university had been in the media for the wrong reasons as different factions continue to emerge over certain disciplinary processes taken by the governing council. Other staff, including the sacked personnel of the university, had also vowed to use all legitimate means to ensure the removal of Reverend Professor Afubuni as Vice-Chancellor of the UEW and the reinstatement of Professor Adekye. Professor Adekye last Tuesday entered the campus together with some sacked staff of the university in an effort to continue his term of office to the university, saying there was no court prohibition on him and the sacked personnel. The group argued that no form of indictment had been leveled against the former Vice-Chancellor and other staff by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, IOCO. His attempt to address the media at the University Council chamber was disrupted by the Winneba District Police Command. He later addressed the media in front of the entrance to the university and said that allegations leveled against him and 5 others had been concluded that IOCO did not see them abusing their offices nor violating any procurement processes.
I was here for daily Ghanaian Times, the Bokratano. No near demo air crew na katafen tosu edu enum na ye demo air crohonom na University of Education Winneba na nsentemu na wonom njokura ni nyina ne se wo Vice Chancellor won Professor Unauthorized Adekye wonom yi na di asubo amode bo ne de na bebre subo na yade na dosu ye pa ne no eno mkofa Vice Chancellor Professor Unauthorized Adekye baaye wo mkofa afoforo baaye na we na se de na no brada no professor no Professor Adekye no what tisi wone suapon ne mu enyumafo be se num omo so de so bo hofra bo omo eno so yi wo madie no omo suapon ne mu se agyan ko mo akotoa wo mu adwuma so achese no omo kwan so na obi susu wo hodada achese wo ye na adwuma nipa no kwade wa hye na adwuma se dada ni sent no omo hwa anhwe betumi ade basabasa ye ene mentimi kwase ababire se Professor Unauthorized Adekye no ono no wonye na adwen ese agya wo baba be firi honom Debbie, Professor Afubuni no, so omo dismissing no.
Dismissing
Adekye no mo dismissing no. Ana afoni
na yoko yenhwemu no mu say Adekye ne ho son. Adekye say yoko ahwe ne say ne ho son dia ana wo ba Tuesday no. Enyo no nko say ye committee set up committee. Nti e bi kan lectures ni Adam Penifo no. Nti was Penifo na sake omu nyina no na Tuesday.
Komo ko wo say omu koye adwuma. Nti ya prosifo no hwa ahwe betumi de basabasa ne mentimi ho ase aba. Nti sense no omu ekọ ho. Achese omukwa boa yema asundwe ni bibia ebaye achese sa prosifo no ye yomu free Swedru na afi Winneba na yeso omunko ho no munko hye se de be ya basabasa ye ne mentinwase koka ni chobo ebia ema omukwa no so mutimi ye adwuma ye pa esanse wo mutimi tutu niema ye ma asundwe ananka ye hye omso omunko pe no ampampa wo mu etumi ekopeye na ekowi ase nso ye Adekye woni ensamtrofo di nsawoso kasa ye wo suapon entrance wono ma editu dwa se subu a wo mo de ball no yoko ehwehwemu no ababe dead se da bi sa subu ni na subu ohunu ne sent no kwan bias no wombesa aba woni staff bi omunso yi wo madi no wombesa aba suapon ni mu ababe to mo adwuma so te se da prosifo no wo hono mu a ansumdwe no wo mo hwe na wonum apre suapon ni mu
nkofo so hwe ni mu se Professor Afubuni so baba adwuma ono so ntumi ma yem se o tete no apekwan ba ko so no de wuram page 3 story bi wo Ghanaian Times Unse food bridge na wa dentano. And once somebody can ya say my contractors nin cause side kon ye adwuma say go aban the putupu my contractors cause side for ye adwuma. E mo ni wi ko for say ade ne wa. Na antie mu you police for your operation e was a food bridge ne so. Police arrest 66 pedestrians for refusing to use food bridges. The police on Wednesday arrested 66 pedestrians who allegedly refused to use completed food bridges on the Medina-Adentan Highway in Accra. The exercise, which was aimed at bringing sanity on the stretch of the road, was led by Assistant Commissioner of Police, Kwesi Furi, commanding officer in charge of operations at the Greater Accra Regional Police Command. ACP Furi said the pedestrians who were apprehended were educated on the dangers of refusing to use the bridges and have since been cautioned and released by the police. He said the police for some time now have noticed that the newly constructed foot bridges were not put to use by pedestrians, which caused obstruction and posed danger to them. ACP Ofori said pedestrians crossed the dual carriage road, endangering their lives and other road users. He said the police would keep surveillance on that stretch of the road to ensure that people use the bridges. The police will still ensure the active 30-day exercise was complied with by the road user, according to ACP Ofori.
Yo, I was for Ghanaian Times the Bokat and if I toss me and sign any demo air crow. So a man for Bakaya and chair crown a better just Medina Adenta Quantempono. Once I know woman need footbridge, woman needs some sobia on Befaso. A quantum see a very busy road pa. And then the be a debate be a say a shine Edia Conebo was weni. Then I'm saying woman need footbridge or woman needs some sobia on Befaso intino. We'll be one of my will track one more. Washa hanu bi a car be a manu dremica and I was so quanin daso and say a drop for no moon to amboa so no so matias we and then a be a debate be a car a boncro or Medina Denta Quantemponis or quite a request nanu be crampo dear addition is triake ade yes yaka Ghana for we bambo ehunya na akwanya so da so say na monya foot bridge bia de yem pene because any car cover cause say gu kwan mu atwaja tum ene ne dede wo ye kire nya sam keto ni nyina so mo ye kire no mo de aka kire Ghana ban ene asoye hwe kwantempon sam so say ni die mada e kwan so ohuma wonom te say car e bobo ma school fo nkoda se bia ni frafo mu twam nyina no e kwan na car se bobo mu ye panesenti ye nya footbridge bi e ma wonom abanse okay fine ma asem no e tons mu matie ni senti me de ka beto kaso ni monum ya footbridge ni maye de wapa de amamo kama ampampa na banje ene wutwemu ho a hey e chan hwehwe e fe papa na no na this year still no mo fa so ye ma wo mo no o mo chese wa abam o man ka so mo pe footbridge wa o mo petietia a je za ba ye mo fa so still a mo da so twa kwan ni mu e na process force da bi mo ana mo se ye nhwe mo bambo ho asem kama mo na ban atie ma asem ya so pam ni aya mo na still mo fa so ene de nafu aduasan si honom ye bejira kwan ho wa ye betu se wudemi ka twa kwan wa bra footbridge ne so da hokwa na monfro no ye beti mo ene na procedure kan ye masi ani mu ano ani padu siensia 66 a o tezo mdo ma so den footbridge no mo fa nya adwuma mo fa so o me na se ya che wo mo na ye che wo mo no ya mfoma ankotumo a procedure kire se emso mo nyante ne ma biase eno nti die nti e wo so mo fo eye footbridge no no muntu America gidigidi emfa kwani maka ankobo mo no ya kire mo sa ne mani nyina sunsun so bonni e de beba nyina no ya kire wonom ama se ya kire mu yemu mo ankasa te ase se o ma so wodin no ya ja won so mo enko na we no wasi ACP Ofori wono ena sa eye exercise oda no a wo hwa ma bibia atumi atodi no kese 30 days na fu aduasa na onom e de behwe ya chiwa ya mtwe so ne mu ne be ma won kire de wo ye na ye mfom so de nse ye mfom so ne aka kire so de be ya next time un family kaden din ko twa kwan ne mo ba ko fa footbridge no na wako eno so be bua ma ka na ebo nkrofo no ni na eso etumi etwa we ni nsema wode Ghanaian Times Bokata ne fa eto so miensa
na se afia we yanchi we ya echiwa ne ambo kokko de ubi abefa so bi se fa so echiwa na ya bo
e bia na after 30 days no de uko fa so na
and the almost wade na we wan nya de bi tia na ezino better say obefa de was no one safe than so we twa communal car
na ka kobo and I say the way we see here wo ye kire no
so na ni pewu
ana ni pewu na ni pewu
na contractor no ntino na design fufuro bi enu betima ya abetima ya short sa kona sa okay say boa ya exercise ya no person e ko for na e ya pom kakra afia page 3 story bi wo journalism you bi asoja fo bi akobro wo mo Shraj receives complaints of 2 soldiers abusing journalists. The Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Shraj, says it has received a complaint of abuse of a journalist by 2 soldiers. Mr. James Harry Obeng, a journalist, was on Wednesday allegedly manhandled by the 2 military men at Michelle Camp for committing no offense. He said he first lodged a complaint at Matayeko police station, but the police advised him to report the case to Shraj. Mr. Obeng said the soldier whose name he gave us, Owusu and Mensa, made him to wait for 1 hour before they released him. When contacted, an officer at the complaints unit of Shraj, who pleaded anonymity, confirmed the story to the Ghanaian Times and said 3 directors of the commission will look into the case and determine whether the commission had the mandate to conduct further investigations. Soldier for ourselves. To say investigation, within our mandate. Afia.
I was for Ghanaian Times, the broadcast and different also means Sanjuani, that's so a war. The no and what they abba a year. Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice Shraj for Womu and Ekasay. Omucheso Musaka complain be. Nani Nani say, a soldier for be, a quanya omudin some trophy, Mianubia Faswono, a dear, a nodding. Omudin some trophy for Bonibisu and nodding ye pa. The sense no idea or Musaka sa complain no. Na a year or James Harry obeying or no some trony no, just a nanu quadano. Kwanya asoja fo mienu ede ne fa so wo eye Michelle Campo hono no na ano ode wo se wanya boni bia ana mde ne fa sa akwa no so na wo se odi kan ede sa complain ekọ Mateko police station na so approach fo no etu ne fu se nka be ya nka bo asemi de nka yiko Shraj isan so wo ne betima bo bia fast amount na omatumi edi wasem na ma kama wo ru oben e kire se soja ni ya ba kudi ndi Owusu na ba kon so edi ede Mensa no Wachese woman ne do adobi ani remfi ni wiasem da don hu de ba ko no matwese ka hye ne zema mo se do wa bra wonya ahwio wodo wie no muja no wosi ahye ne papa ene ma wodi amika de ho asem kwoto ye mate kwa prosefo ma prosefo nso tu ni fo se won ko Shraj honom no na se eye Shraj opanyin ba ko honom no de bibinti Ghanaian nsɛmtwerɛfo fo chese wo mantumi amfa ne di amba wochese asem no e wo so otumi eye hwehwemu kakra ka ho na ohumu ye ansana wotumi atwa so we ene ensem aba Ghanaian Times the broadcast ne fa etoso miensa
Nko report to police station and police force on question. And the police for in case you want me handle. This is the question.
I should have 4 years on so I know moment said and tells my sister how. So do before complain.
Say no on say your Ghana Mranso and I'm in sure soldier for Ghana Mranso. There be so won't say will be the complaint balance on question well say because Anna the past say on your bonibiano so to chimasuka mean can say justifiable say why born into soldier for between so manando kakra and the police for so free one anka mu so kakra nanke da kwa kudu baby anka charge for metimi asomwa you say nke boa
who say soldiers no must do before complain in say nka no person man do odo wi anan komaka
but and so you soldier ni na apply to you and so a civilian to do 1 hour
and don't worry ba kon
na unim do no so asan fufuru
msa hye pa
ekonum
mi so mo hwe nanim a onim do
no so do
me hwe
but afu si ko dra wo ko fa 4bn ho ba bi okuma ase mo man do ya fine ho yen drive ho nti we are no one for no man do ya fine ye dey come on be we ye be see but ye go page 2 of the chronicle then from page 3 actually
chronicle
or say Mahama empty national coffers what was that story
page 3
Nana Beni Jojo Emisa ene Breman Esiam it's a honor this story no free airback okay. Also, President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo has told his audience, which comprised of chiefs and their subjects at Breman Esiam in the central region, that former President John Dramani Mahama's administration completely emptied the national coffers before exiting power in January 2017. This fact, he argued, can never be denied by President John Dramani Mahama. President Akufo-Addo, who is currently touring the central region, therefore pleaded with Ghanaians to bear with his government as he tries to implement policies that will bring great relief to every Ghanaian. Touching on the free SHS policy, President Akufo-Addo mentioned that the policy was not implemented because of votes in the next election. He mentioned that it was purposely meant to make education accessible for the rapid development of the nation. Yeah.
Yo, I was for the Chronicle, the Democrats and the Fentos, so me and Sa and your demo aircrow. Na at the Danko Kufa, the Ghanaman penny, na proba, I will so a wo in 15 mantemuno. One another him for and one month for our one what bremine isiam, and on war in 15 mantem honum edins. I was on my boncomopa. Nan come to Trinimun or the two, and him friend me say, Kaniman penny or John Dramani Mahama, and son will be free just one. Wo may esikano. Or may just hearing na. I just say, or may ye Akufo the chest or buy no. Not just a sika or may ni sika. Es answer Mahama, Kanima Penny Mahama. What chesa or may ye get no, or better not just say empty cry. She ni or may coffers mu. A first customer for more. That is the way I hope I was almost signing in answer and one every adjusted 2017. One of no. The sense no original so as an anonymous him for no man for sending dear mother. Or more and no soon chen or pelmunian to was a money year price and say what the policies be brave a guaquanso. Arches and no what be ye a day amma a day a homage a bregana fonina. No see what and I'm say why me to see cabia war a year or may a foot to a muntino. After us or more to two near me ye. Na fenso so no wo ahwama bibia tumi akoyie ene o se policies de odi bia ba pa free senior high crampo e wo honom a chese ni nyina ne yehye papa wo de aba na o se nyese bia free senior high no kra no wo de buy se de be ya se ba beto aba bia mu a Ghana fo betumi aka se na de free senior high aba nti mo nto aba ma do se de bi enye no ne botaye ne mom no botaye na de na koma so nam so mo de free senior high ne ba nyina ne se Ghana koda bia da I will need my dear. No one so and to a so suku cross war. What pass junior high, no pass or con to a so suku one. So free senior high, bet to a man a quenya, no to not one this year so. Nama and woman sooner any other chair, as much in here power Ghana has say, and yes, I will be voting see, and I will de a buyer. Ojina so de to him him say and she say papa betum dia bra papa and then say papa ne ni da so Ghana ni bia bra bom die and any chaw odi bia pa na omonto omobo esanse ne manyina be yi na ko ba na nkaka ne mampani Mahama etuma tutu ne maye e wo esi kasam ho ankasa abere nka wo mbre na so nam say wo mu fa sika ne nyina wo mu entumi anja bi angu o man efuto mu na ne nyina akọ yenti e na ma se wo no kra no wo bre e wo na memu enhyehyɛ mu no na so ne nyina no wo mpa aba so one paba betutu ni nyina ye magana fo amma na mo papa agese wei ene ensem awode abada Chronicle the Democrats and fa eto so miensa
sanse mo da yeta tipa o ansoma siko wanya hwe nse jan hwe yeah politicians e so ha ne bi enko no be safia uti na fe ansaja no so ye kama ntino
ye keka
why ne bo uti no ma wo na afifa to butuafo ni enko ni
busuafo miti Living God Salon. Omo Tabora Alaji.
Enya sorry o salon.
Salon.
Beauty salon.
Beauty salon.
Living God. O chafo nyame. Okay.
Asanto ane wo ho. Nkoda no do so pa. So kwa papa. Na say ya ye otini dia ma meti si maduasa. O se afia ma wie sore kom say we ya sure. So ye kwa na madawo.
Uframu dai.
Mfamu dai. Simadua sanse afia manya no mawiem say we sure mawiem hwe na say kama otwa ne yopo. Nja santo a me das papa Living God Salon ne number 0244 829682 0244 829682 asanto number no say intimity e ofe na person obobi mawa frɛ no na share no Living God no momo akama. Thank
Living
you
God for buti ma for more than I want me ato. Oma ambassador ho aye fe won ye kama pa de nyame ase. Charles Kwame Sian Sefin Investment me chacha wo apenkwa woni ebe nyame nhwamo. Ye twa ho ba na afi ye ba bedi apomudi ho enkomo na no panti munya botwa na mo ntwen ye ba sisia.